today's news. Action held in front of presidential administration to demand for release of imprisoned bloggers. 1 year passes since blogger's arrest. Police family complains about courts. The Lost Sufar resident appeals to Ilham Aliyev 163 times to restore his rights.
On 8th July, a group of Delga Youth Movement organization activists conducted a protest action in front of the presidential administration to demand for the release of imprisoned bloggers Emin Milli and Adnan Hajizadeh. The youth gathered in front of the Philharmonic Society. They chanted slogans as they approached the presidential administration. The action participants shouted out, "Freedom for Adnan and Emin," and now the unfounded court verdict and end persecutions against youth. The police detained the youth in front of the presidential administration and forced them into cars to take them away from the scene. The police hindered the work of journalists who were trying to prepare a report on the action.
Emin Milli and Adnan Hajizadeh will never appeal for a pardon. This was said by Azerbaijan Popular Front Party Youth Organization Chairman Abulfaz Gurbanli during a meeting that was held in the Azerbaijan Human Rights House on July 8th to honor the 1-year anniversary of the blogger's imprisonment. The administration sees this country as its own property, said Gurbanli. Representatives of the Azerbaijani youth, Emin Milli and Adnan Hajizadeh, are fighting against this. Azadluk newspaper editor-in-chief Ganimat Zahid said in his speech that the situation in the country remains complicated. We need to improve the social base of youth, to react operatively to repression, to strengthen relations with international organizations, and enhance social networks, said Zahid. Institute for Reporters' Freedom and Safety chairman Emin Husseinov stated that the socio-political situation in the country remains tense, and the way out of this situation is for opposition leaders to be courageous. Committee to Defend Bloggers' Rights chairperson Vala Jafarova called on the youth to fight for the defense of their rights. Youth should not lose hope. This is a dream of bloggers as well, she added. Center for Election Monitoring and Democracy Education Executive Director Bashir Suleymanlı proposed that the youth join together in one network. At the end of the event, a statement prepared by the Azerbaijani Popular Front Party Youth Organization was adopted. It is written in the document that the administration continues to ignore calls to release the bloggers. The authors of the statement demanded that the unfair verdict against the bloggers be annulled and perpetrators be brought to justice. Local courts are considering the case of imprisoned police major Emin Ahmedbeyov in a biased manner. On the 8th of July, Emin Ahmedbeyov's spouse, Police Captain Nigar Ahmedbeyova, said this in a press conference that was held in the media center. Nigar Ahmedbeyova said that on the 6th of July, in the Supreme Court, a reversal complaint on the case of Emin Ahmedbeyov was considered. However, none of the 12 motions filed by his lawyer were fulfilled. The judges did not investigate the evidence submitted by either party. According to Nigar Ahmedbeyova, the Supreme Court returned the case to the appellate court. However, Nigar Ahmedbeyova claims that the next hearing will be biased as well. We don't expect any positive results from the appellate court because our lawyers have received threats, said Nigar Ahmedbeyova. Emin Ahmedbeyov is a police major. His spouse, Nigar Ahmedbeyova, is a specialist in the hospital of the Internal Affairs Ministry. According to Nigar Ahmedbeyova, her spouse was imprisoned because he wanted to protect his wife's honor and dignity. The Internal Affairs Ministry Polyclinic head physician, Namik Alekbarov, harassed her, said Nigar Ahmedbeyova. Emin Ahmedbeyov came to clear up the issue with the head physician, and an incident occurred between them, resulting in Emin Ahmedbeyov being dismissed from his job. Namik Alekbarov was dismissed from his job after the incident was investigated from 2001 to 2004. Ahmedbeyov was then restored to his job. He then faced harassment after he asked for the payment of his salary for the past 3 years. In March of 2010, a criminal case was opened against my husband under Article 314.2 of the Criminal Code, said Nigar Ahmedbeyova. He was sentenced to 3 years of imprisonment after he was convicted for resisting State Road Police employee Maharam Gurbanov.
Ikhtiyar Agayev, a resident of Ismatli village in Bilasor region, has not been able to prove that a 2-hectare cultivation field belongs to him. Agayev appealed to President Ilham Aliyev 163 times. He gave this information in the press conference that was held in the press center of the Institute for Reporters' Freedom and Safety. Agayev used to grow cotton in the cultivation fields in question. My fellow villager Supan Babayev took my land. I have repeatedly appealed to law enforcement agencies regarding this. However, I have not been successful, pointed out Agayev. Agayev appealed to court to restore his property rights and to seek material and moral damages. Although the district court issued a decision to pay 1333 AZN in compensation for material damages, they ignored the 6,000 AZN claim for the compensation of moral damages. The Shirvan Appellate Court annulled the decision in the district court regarding the compensation for material damages. Agayev filed a reversal complaint in the Supreme Court in hopes that justice will be served in this court.